Hello again, welcome back. Bit of a different video for you today because I'm still waiting on bus parts. I haven't got everything I need to do any work on the buses. I've got to get some tyres put on those that I did in the last video. There's no hurry for that. We're still months away from both vehicles being needed. I think it's May for the Merlin and July for the double decker. So because the channel's called Steve Stuff, I'm going to do some other stuff today. My name's Steve, so it'll still work. I'm going to do some work on the car. The F150 I introduced you to a couple of weeks ago in the last video. It's since I got back from up home, on the way down, I started hearing a noise that didn't sound right. We think it was in the four-wheel drive system. We think it was in the transmission. We're not sure. No one can work it out. They've had the car for a week. They gave it a transmission service, checked the transfer case, gave it back to me and said it was all good. Well, it wasn't, because the minute I got on the freeway, the noise was still there. So it's going back on Monday. I took my mechanic out that looked after the Ranger. I took him for a spin, because it's all under warranty, so it's got to go back out to them to get the work done. But I took my mechanic for a drive the other day, and he said, yeah, definitely something wrong, especially when you go into four-wheel drive. It's quite noisy, but the thing is, it's a buzzing noise. It sounds like the noise maybe a supercharger would make, but it's not gearbox related because it doesn't fluctuate with the gear changes. It just goes up and down with speed, which gets me thinking maybe front diff. They're going to look after it again and have a go. It could be just old oil. They said when they serviced the transmission, the fluid in that and the filters were putrid. So for a car with only 46,000 kilometres on it, it's a bit sus. But anyway, I paid a lot of money for it. I want to make sure it's perfect. Since I've had it, I've been buying parts. I've been watching YouTube videos. There's so many videos on how you can modify these things, upgrade things. They're the highest selling light truck. They call it a light truck in the US. Highest selling truck in the States, and you can buy virtually anything you want online, from exhausts to audio front ends to new steering wheels, everything. So I've been slowly buying things that I want to do to the car. They've been arriving in dribs and drabs. Some are coming from Amazon, which is really quick. Some are coming from China, which is slow. The slow boat from China, I think. Others from eBay. So they're arriving in dribs and drabs. So what I'll do with this video is, as parts arrive, I'll do a job, video it. When everything's done, piece it all together, edit it into one video. So over the course of this video, my shirt will probably change, my hats will change, the weather will change. I mean, it's absolutely stinking hot today. We're having a bit of an Indian summer. After all that rain and the so-called cyclone, today it's like 38 degrees, and I'm going to get out on the hot concrete and do some work. I've got a couple of things I want to do under the bonnet today. First thing I want to do is I'm going to rotate the front tyres onto the back because they've put a lower profile on the rear, and honestly I think they look silly. Going to change that now. Going to get stuck into another video, another episode of Steve Stuff. So that's that side. As you can see, where are we? 285 45s on 22-inch rims. They put new tyres on the back for me, and they put 285 40s on. So not only did those ones look silly in the back, those ones fill out the wheel arch a bit better, but also these ones were the wrong rolling diameter, and they messed with my speedo. I think my speedo was indicating 2 or 3 k's higher than what I was actually doing. So I'll just spray some kind of WD or something in there to protect those hubs getting rusty, and I'll do the other side. I won't bore you with that. I am going to put new tyres on this when money comes available, but for now these ones are good enough. I'll keep them on there. I'll do the other side now, but I won't video it. So there we go. 45s are on the back now. Look a little bit better in that guard. 40s are on the front. They actually give the truck a slight rake, but with those on the back, they're the drive tyres. That's the correct rolling diameter, and when they're on the back, that should be exactly the read on the speedo as to what the read on the GPS is, which was wrong by a couple of Ks. I've just given him a squirt with the tyre black, and as luck would have it, I was just wondering what job I was going to do next under the bonnet, and realised I left all that stuff back at home. So I'll find something else to do. So we'll cross that off the very long list of things that I want to do. Now, something else I want to do, I noticed this the other day, and I don't think I remember seeing it when I was at home. This, can you read that? Paint overspray. So, can you see that? I don't know if the video show. Yeah, there you go. That's I don't recall seeing that before. I don't know if the dealer's done that in the last few days while they've had my car stored in one of their sheds, and I don't know how to get it off. I've googled it, and anything from terps to thinners to metho, so I'm going to try a couple of things, see if I can get that off. I just moved into the shade, try and make this a bit, well, it makes the paint spray harder to see, but it makes the back of my neck not get so sunburnt. So I tried it with metho and with terps. They both seem to get it off. Metho seems to do it easier than the terps, but I've got smash all left, and I've got a whole couple of bottles of terps, so I'll do it with the terps and a rag and see what happens. Try and get rid of this overspray. It's really annoying. I shouldn't have to be doing this. Should have been picked up by the dealer when they were detailing it. Or maybe it was done last week while I had it stored somewhere, which would annoy me even more. It's kind of coming off. I don't want to get a scraper onto it. Anyway, I'm bored with this already. I'm not going to bore you with it, so I'll just finish this off and see you in a minute. So much better, you can actually see me. So, took a little bit of elbow grease, not only getting the paint off with the terps, but then also getting the terps marks off the window with a chamois. But anyway, that's a heck of a lot better than it was. Beauty. Right, before I go home, let's have a look at a couple of the things that I want to do. This is the airbox. That's just a paper filter. I've bought a kit that runs from the throttle body over to here, uses the bottom box here, but uses an oil, like, you know, one of those oil clean filters, like K&N style. That's not the brand I bought, but basically it's quite an easy fit. The other thing I've purchased is a catch can setup that will mount here, and just basically just connects. These things have a vacuum problem. On deceleration, they can create a bit of vacuum that pulls oil up into the combustion chamber. The catch can system eliminates it, not so much, but anything that gets blown back into the engine is not filthy, if you know what I mean. You know what a catch can does. Anyway, so I've bought one of those that's going to go there. They were the two jobs I was going to do today, and everything's in a box back in my little shed in the garage. I've also bought a new front end to replace this, similar to what I did in the Ranger. So this whole thing comes out, and it's a big Tesla screen, comes all the way down to about here. It's plug and play, that's good to go. Inside here, I've bought an organizer, because this thing's so deep, I keep losing things. And also, I've bought a replacement for this tray that's got a wireless phone charger on it. So that's on the way. I've bought a new steering wheel cover that I have to stitch on, because I'm a glutton for punishment, and why not? I do it to every car I own. Something else that's available and I love is you can buy a custom made tub that fits under here, supplement to that, and fits perfectly underneath these seats. So there to there like that. Hell of a lot of room, I nearly swore then, to put tools and whatnot in, because as you can see, I do carry a lot of crap in my car. That's on the way. Some toolboxes that mount here, fold into the wheel arch and they swing out. They're super expensive, they're like $500 per side. So I haven't pulled the trigger on those yet, but I have bought what's called a bed rug, which is a replacement for this. It's carpet, same as you've got in the boot of your car, or if you've got an SUV that you've got in the back section, the storage section. It turns this basically into a boot. So that's all the stuff that's coming, all on the way, various parts of the world right now. Plenty of jobs to do, and we'll try and get it all done in this video. That's all I'm going to do right now. I'll see you tomorrow and get that under bonnet stuff done. Just coming into the yard on another stinking hot day to do those two jobs that I was going to do yesterday but forgot to bring the parts. You can see the box behind me right there. I've got them this time. But I just want to see if you can hear. I can't demonstrate the high pitch whine that I get at about 60 k's an hour in 2, but if I put this into 4 high, let's see if we can hear anything. I'll wind the windows up, see if you guys can hear this noise. Now I'm in 4. Hang on, I've got something going on here. Let's turn the fan down. Hear that? I don't think that should be doing that. I don't know if you heard it or not. I'll go back into 2. I'll just go up. I'll do it again. And I'll just grab the phone out of the cradle and stick it further down near the floor, see if you can hear it. Okay, so I'm in 2 high right now. If they tested this the other day and said, yeah, there's no noise in 4-wheel drive, if they put it into 4A to test it, they wouldn't have heard it, because 4A is an automatic conditions detection situation, basically. If I put that into 4A, I'll stay rear-wheel drive until such time as I get into slippery conditions or go off-road. Then the car intuits that I need 4 wheels and it puts me into 4-wheel drive. So if they tested it in 4A on the road out in Blacktown, they would have been in 2 and they wouldn't have heard it. So I'm going to put it into 4H, which is where I'm hearing the noise, back into drive, and I'll just hold you guys down here near my feet and see if you can hear this. Hear that noise? First job is this. This whole stock part comes out, and then I use the bottom portion of that box with the new setup, and it all just bolts straight in. Apparently there's 4 or 5 different brands of this. There's Roush, which is really expensive. There's K&N, which is really expensive. There's an American brand called Rough Country, who do a lot of aftermarket stuff for F150s. I couldn't get one of those in Australia, so I've bought something that's come from somewhere within Australia. It seems like an Asian brand, but it'll do the job, I think. So these hoses here, that one and that one, they're breather hoses. They just clip off. This just comes out of there, and I've got to feed everything through. So let's have a look and see what we've got in the box here. So I've set myself up a little workbench here. This stuff here, that's the oil catch can. That's the job I'll do after this. There's the bracket and the hardware for that one, so I'll leave that there. And here is the cold air intake. So that's the air filter, that's important. Trying to get everything apart with one hand. Come back to that. There is the actual intake pipe, and this is the adapter box that bolts onto the original plastic bottom part. So we'll put that there. We'll get this out. There's another part of that. And start putting things together. KO Star. I hope it's a good brand. It's aluminium. It's been kind of treated with a, what do you call that? A finish, like a hammered finish maybe. KO Star Performance. Everything, some of them you can buy, and these were glued in or screwed in. I heard horror stories, read horror stories about threads breaking and whatnot. These ones are welded. They've got the original fittings for those two hoses to snap just straight on. So that is going to go into there that way. What I'll do now is start assembling this box. There doesn't seem to be any instructions, which is great. Just what I needed, but we're a bit handy. We'll see if we can get it put together. I'm not going to take anything out until I'm absolutely positive that I've put this together properly. So the first thing is this box. Now, this clips in to the OG box that way, and there are two straps that come up over here. So I guess I've got to put this end bit onto here. Let's see what we've got here. As far as hardware is concerned, there's all of these adapters that go onto the filter and actually onto the throttle body. I think one of these does. Right, this is what I'm looking for here. So what this is, that's clips over around the box like that. You can see that. It seals at top. When the bonnet's closed, the bonnet closes down onto this, and it gives it a nice airtight seal so that you get your nice cold air coming in through the intake, but not hot air from the engine bay. And now I have to work out what goes where, because they have not given me anything on paper to explain it. These two line up with these two. Those two are further spaced, so I can't put it together back to front. I guess little Allen keys here. There's 4 of them, so I'd say that's what these are for. Put a washer on. Get that in there. Phone went into overheat mode and just stopped recording, so I put it in the esky where my beers are, and while it cooled down I put all this together. So if we kind of mock it up, it's going to sit like that. So everything's ready to connect. All I have to do now is get all that out. Both hoses disconnected here and here. There's a little clip on them and they just pop out. These two clips here disconnect the top of this to the box. I'll get that filter out in a moment. Then pop that hose out of that little clip there, and then just undo the 2 big Jubilee hose clamps on the throttle body, and this all should just lift out. Like so. Right, so that's the part we're not using anymore, but we'll keep. Pop this filter out. She's due for a service. Pop that there. New box is in. Just clips in there, clips in there. I might just tighten all these up a bit more. Throttle body end, all tight. All good. Now we'll just get that filter into that box and get everything to line up, and hopefully we're good to go. First hurdle. Never happens like this in the videos I've been watching. It's all kind of just sitting there, test fit, but it's too long. I need to push this box back that way to get it to fit, and because this is mounted to the throttle body, I can't go pushing any further than that. So it looks like I've got to trim off, what do you reckon that is? 2 centimetres, 20 mil off there. Great. I'm using a stainless steel cutting disc on aluminium because all my other cutting discs are at home. Battery. Ouch, that's hot. All right, I'll just smooth that down a bit better and then hopefully she'll fit. I just got it all strapped down and it fit, but there was a bit of a gap here and I thought, well, that's no good, that's just going to suck hot engine air in. And then I remembered this little bit here that was in the kit, so obviously that's a trim piece for there to try and make it a bit more airtight, so we'll put that on. So that solves that problem. If you can see under there, goes all the way along, just closes off that little crack, finishes it up nicely as well. So we're all in tight. I'll just tighten all these up, last one on the throttle body, and then I'll start it up to make sure everything's breathing properly. All good. I can hear air getting sucked into there. So all I have to do now is just put this weather seal around the outside, and what that does is when the bonnet closes, you can see it's angled to the shape of the bonnet, to the contour. I'll put that weather strip on there, that will seal that in and should make it perform a bit better. Something I forgot to do, put these hoses back on. There was a funny popping noise, I don't know. There we go. Last one's going to be stubborn. So there it is, finished product. There's a little bit of popping, a little bit, I don't know if it was a bit of a backfire. It stopped, but I think it might have been because I didn't have these breather hoses connected when I first started it. I'll keep an eye on that, and if it keeps happening, I might put the original setup back on in case I've upset some sort of witchery that goes on in there, although everyone that puts these on said it improves performance and you get a little bit more of a throaty growl. When I close the bonnet, that should seal up nicely. Well, I hope it does. Now what I have to do with this catch can is take this clip out. It's just a Christmas tree clip. Push that out, it's just holding that wiring harness there. Utilize that hole and then drill another one there, or along there, wherever the bracket is. And the can will mount here and a pipe run from there, that's the PCV valve, to there. I take that out, so what will happen was, there'll be a hose that'll come from there up to the catch can, and then from the catch can back to the PCV valve. So it's basically filtering out any of that dirty, exhausty, gassy oil, putting it in the can before it blows it back into there. They reckon helps the life of the engine. Right, so that's the original hole, that's the one I just drilled. So then they say just to pop these clips there. So they've got like a thread in the bottom of them. Might have to clean up some shit from under there. Again, this is why you just gotta, I don't know, spend the money. This is a good brand though that I got, but that clip is too long at the bottom there to fit underneath there. So I'm going to have to trim the bottom tab off both of these. Kind of like this. All bolted in, nice and snug. Now the next step is to take these off, which I think from memory there's just a clip maybe. That way I should just pull off. I'll do this off camera. The catch can just screws in there. You can pick which direction you want it to go. So now I've got to try and find a way to route these hoses. So that one goes to there. You don't want it kinking or anything. So, and this one goes over to there. So I've got to try over to there. got to try and get the hoses running so they're not in the way and they don't kink. Job done. I just had to double check on the video where in comes from. So in comes from the manifold, filtered back to the PCV. So I've just got to tidy those hoses up. I thought I bought some cable ties down with me, but I didn't. So I'll get back to home and I'll get some cable ties and tidy that up. So yeah, there's those two jobs done. I'll do the next job when the next parts arrive. I'm going to drill this out and take this off because it's either tricking my eyes or the yellow paint's fading. I think it's fading. So I don't want it to fade because those are vinyl letters, so I can't paint it again. If I paint it, I've got to take the vinyl letters off and buy more. And I think from memory they came from somewhere like Denmark and they weren't cheap because they were the size I wanted. So I'm going to remove this. Right. Off. Yeah, so it wasn't my eyes tricking me. Look at that there. That's where the rivet used to be. That paint has faded. Cheap crap. Well, I'll leave it inside the bus now where it can't fade any further. I got offered this today as a project for free. It's a luggage trailer. I guess it probably tow behind a minibus, maybe? I don't know. It's kind of funky. I don't know. I said no initially because I've just got too much going on, but I might be able to fix it up and paint it and get a bit of money for it. Tell me what you reckon. Change of plan on this video. Instead of doing all one video of all the mods I want to do as parts come in, I don't have the car. That's not the F150. That's my loan car. Not a bad little thing, not my cup of tea. I took it back to the dealer on Monday last week. They've had it over a week now. I took their workshop guy out for a spin. He heard with his own ears the noises I was talking about, and he thinks it could be in the drive shaft in the front. I'm thinking the diff or the transfer case. Either way, they're going to fix it, however long it takes. I said, you know, just fix it. Hopefully it won't be more than about 3 weeks because I've got a week off coming up and I want to zoom up home and see the family. But in the meantime, things have started arriving in the mail. Let's have a look at the things I want to do to the F150 when I get it back. Oh, and let's have a look at this hat. So I've been looking at getting the Steve stuff embroidered, and usually to get that and make it work financially, you have to order a heap of them because they've got to set up their machines and things. But there's a place in Queensland I came across and they had a deal out, an offer, that they just do a one-off sample for you and there was no setup on the stitching. So I ordered one. So this is the other one that I had. That's been printed on there. That's been embroidered. I really like it. I'm really happy with it. This is what I was going for. This is a channel I follow on YouTube. He's an Aussie guy up in the Hunter Valley who wrenches on old cars, fixes them up, gets them started and stuff. So I really liked his style of hat. And now I've got my own. This two-banded trucker cap, really popular in Australia at the moment. So we have ourselves a winner. It's not like I'm going to go out and go into merchandise or anything like that. The channel's not big enough for that, but it's just for me and for you guys. If you want one, let me know. I can order one. Probably be around $40 Australian by the time I get it posted to you. Anyway, that's the hats. Let's look at all the goodies that have been arriving. Very important is the driver's side mirror. This is the replacement. The other one's all, I think I showed you. The other one, all the silvering's gone on it. So this is the proper one. It's got the blind spot system and also it's heated. So it's got all the correct connections on the back. Got that from Amazon. That's ready to go in. This is an OBD link. This is, I can plug this into the OBD2 plug under the dash of the car and I can get into all the coding and I can change things around. Simple things like having the windows fold in when I press the lock button and changing around displays, stuff like that. I'm not going to go into, you know, mapping or tuning, but that was cheap enough and I'm going to have that, or have a go at that when I get the car back. This is, you've seen me do this with the other cars. This is a new steering wheel cover that I have to stitch on. It's got the red Raptor stripe, it's got the red stitching that will match the rest of the interior of the car, which I'm kind of running with now. I didn't like it in the beginning, but it's growing on me, so we're going to go with it. So that's that. In this box, these are under-seat storage tubs. There's 3 of them. They go under the back seat that folds up, the bottom bolster that folds up. There's 3 of them in there. They go together, but they stretch the entire width of the seat, and there's compartments. They perfectly fit. When the seats are down, you'd think they were part of the seat. So they're going in. This is a wireless charger for my phone, doing this one-handed, it basically replaces the tray that's in the center console now. There's a tray in the center console for coins and whatnot. This replaces it, and it has a charging mat for the phone. So you can charge your phone when you're not plugged into CarPlay or something, because I want to set the new front end, which should be arriving this week apparently. I got an email. I'll set it up for wireless CarPlay. Now this is exciting. This is an idea I got off one of the YouTube channels that I watch. This is, I don't know if I can get this undone with one hand. There we go. This is a dash cam, but it's cleverly disguised as a mirror. It goes over the top of your current mirror. It comes with apps, a camera, forward-facing, rear-facing cameras. It's crazy. It's going to be a bit of a job to put it in, but I'm looking forward to doing that when I get the car back. These things here look like some of those stupid plastic rubber lips that women were chewing on a few years back to make their cheekbones stronger. They actually go over the front tow hooks on the car. I think just a pop of red should make them look good. And in here, that's the wiring harness for the mirror. And this is the bed rug that goes in the back. I chose the carpet instead of getting spray on. I've been hearing that the carpet is better, and it just basically turns the rear part of the ute into like a boot. This is the same sort of stuff that you'd have in the boot of your car. Because it's got the cover on it, it's waterproof, and that should work well. It's just got to be cut to size and double-sided taped down. So, they're the things. Well, there's some of the things, because there's a bit of a list. If I can work out how to do it, I'll show you my Amazon wish list. They're the things I want to get. These are the things I already have. Sadly, that's not the car they're going in. I don't know how long it's going to be, but I'll get you a part 2 video out when the car gets back. The thing I want to do while I'm here is replace this battery. One of these batteries in the Merlin post. I don't know if you can see that. This post has gone bad. I think I showed you that before. It's corroded. It's letting acid weep up from inside the battery, and it's just ruining things. So I'll give this a clean up and I'll swap this battery out. Might as well do it while I'm here. Tomorrow it's supposed to rain, so I'll just chill out at home tomorrow and have a nice lazy Sunday, I reckon. So while I'm here and I got some tools, I'm just going to do this. There we go. Mismatched batteries now. They're both still good. This one's still good. It's still charged. It's showing a charge on the light on the green thing there, if you can see that. It's just this post is no good. So I'll take this back up home. It'll be good for the tractor or one of the old cars or something. It's still got a bit of life in it. I was just about to see if I could start it. I haven't fixed the fuel filter yet, but I was going to, with the new battery, see if she'd crank over, and then I remembered, without the radiator and just with that household plumbing in there, it does gently, slowly leak to the point where it's empty. So I won't be starting it today. That can wait. Well, that's where we'll leave this video. Hopefully you enjoyed it, found it interesting. A little bit different to what I normally do. Mostly this will be bus stuff on this channel, but every now and then we'll do something different. Farm stuff, car stuff. There'll be a part 2 to this one, possibly even a part 3, depending on how many mods I make to the new truck, and also how long they take. The audio front end, the new screen that's on the way, and also that mirror dash cam, they might even be a video all unto themselves, because there's going to be a lot of tedious work taking dash parts and bits and pieces out. Got a feeling the Merlin radiator's not that far away, maybe just a couple of weeks. Hopefully not too expensive. When that's back, it'll go back into this bus, and also the new fuel filter, which I haven't done yet because I'm not quite sure how to prime the pump up. I'm hoping for a bit of help on that. Got to put tyres on the front wheels that I painted a couple of videos back. Get this one ready. We're about 8 weeks away from UK Day at the Sydney Bus Museum. That will be this bus's next big outing, all going well. So thank you once again for watching all the way to the end. Hopefully you did like this video. Tell your friends, like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time on Steve Stuff.